About 12 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Drill. It is a Tuesday, final day of May, and we have some special guests in the studio this morning. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. Fine.
Welcome to the program this morning.
Thank you.
Let's start out by introducing yourselves. Barb, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Barb Ives, a member of St. James Memorial Episcopal Church.
Martha Ishman. I'm the vicar of St. James Church.
Noni Stanford. I'm the senior warden at St. James and also a soup kitchen coordinator.
Now, the warden, does that mean you brought these guys in handcuffs?
No, I let them walk in freely.
Did you? Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's a pleasure having you ladies on the program this morning. So, you know, a lot of people have been talking around the community about some of the things going on at St. James. I mean, there's a lot of really neat things going on, and maybe, Martha, we'll start with you. Just kind of talk about some of the experiences that folks can get outside of a traditional Sunday morning service.
Okay, I'd be happy to do that. We are intentionally trying to focus more on the community in everything that we do. As Noni spoke of the soup kitchen, she may want to talk more about that later. But what we've been doing, we have in the wintertime St. James After Dark. It's basically a series of classes that you can come and participate in. We've done sewing, we've done handcrafting, we've done, what else? I'm drawing a blank.
We've done tangling, some gardening,
making
some ceramics.
Hypertufa, which are big things that you plant stuff in. Doing stuff like that. But we've also been involved with the youth, getting them out and about. We have a Tuesday afternoon program where the kids come. They learn a little bit about their faith life, a little bit about the community. They have camp this coming up at June
12th.
June 12th, yeah. Camp Nazareth, they go for a whole week. We have 12 children going from our parish this year, which is quite a fantastic number. Yeah. So
instead of just saying, we're open on Sundays, you guys are reaching out saying there's a lot more that we do here, and there's ways of tying in the message of God with some of these activities. Exactly.
Another thing that we're planning to do is go to the Seawolves game. Now that's fun, but again, the other activities, we're embarking on a program to place ourselves in the community. We do not have all the details firmed up yet, but we would like to be doing Bible studies out in a community venue. We haven't decided the place yet. I'm still looking for a good coffee shop in which to do that sort of thing. But yeah, just the ways to connect faith life with real life, because they're one and the same.
Barb, talk about this journey you guys are going on right now, because it sounds like it's pretty exciting and a little different from what's been done in the past.
It is a little different. Martha has been shaking our tree for several years now, and now it's really shaking in the wind. But the one thing Martha didn't say, she's going out every Thursday to restaurants for lunch, and she feels if she gets to know the community, people might feel more comfortable if they're having a problem or an issue, just sitting down and talking with her, that maybe she can help them out. We also do an open baptism every year. We just did it at Pentecost.
That's right.
Just to welcome everybody in. You don't have to take classes. You just have to show up and be baptized. Everybody's welcome for that. And then we're starting something a little new. I know you think I sit downstairs and don't do anything because I work for the federal government. But every time you go by, you wave at me.
That's Joe, we think.
Oh, that's Joe, yeah. But what I do is casework for Congressman Glenn Thompson. So I'm going to start being at the soup kitchen the first and third Tuesdays of every month. And anybody that has a problem with Social Security, veterans issues, Medicare, housing, anything like that, that's what I do. I help people, and I'll be there, and I'll be happy to help them with whatever they need and see what the community needs outside of my office.
And speaking of the soup kitchen, this is something that has just grown. Talk about the initial startup of the soup kitchen and where it is now.
Well, I wasn't in on the initial start of the soup kitchen. It started with Father John Perry. Approximately in 2001, it was organized, and we started serving lunches, I believe, that same year. And when they first started, they were serving maybe 12 people. Last week, for example, we served 130 lunches, and the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month, we give out food bags. And we are very blessed to have a program with Giant Eagle here in town. They provide us with many, many goods. They provide us with bread, they provide us with cakes, desserts, and they give us meat. And then in turn, we have a table set up, and every week we do give out some of those goods. And we have recently started not only packing the food pantry bags from the food cupboard, but in addition to that, we're giving out meat along with that frozen meat with the bags. It's an exciting place. You never know who's going to come to help. We have some pretty regular folks that show up, but it's an exciting place, and we're open and welcome and want to have anyone in the community who needs a good meal or needs some social interaction, is looking for faith-based, whatever their purpose is, we welcome there every Tuesday. And we're blessed to have cooks, Jim and Millie McCurdy, who are faithful, doing all the ordering for us. They supply the cupboards. And we're trying to bring the congregation in on supplying the food pantry also. That's another project we're currently working on. And it's just a very, I can't explain the feeling you get from working there. It's a very welcoming, a very heartwarming day. Every Tuesday is a special Tuesday. And you don't know what a smile, you maybe smile at someone, sit down and talk with them a little bit, whatever you do. They're always grateful, and they're always, always very appreciative.
And speaking of
we're appreciative of what they give to us.
And that's fantastic. And speaking of the McCurdy's, I'll never forget this. I saw him. He was at work. This was back in the fall, right before Thanksgiving, jumping up and down to get my attention, saying, "You got to come over and see this. This is going to be a huge Thanksgiving meal. It's going to be incredible." And it was. And some of the footage that Mark brought back, I mean, was just amazing, amazing. So when you talk about those volunteers, is it best for them to call you ahead of time and say, "Boy, we're thinking about doing this," or can they just show up?
Well, they can just show up, but if they, Ida Scales is another coordinator, along with Lori Powell. If they would call Charlene in the office and let them know they're interested, then Charlene will get the information to one of us, and we can call and have a conversation with those individuals and maybe work out a schedule for them.
You know, Martha, I'm sure that you hear this a lot. Oh, we've got this 50,000 kids. We've got this and work, and I'm doing 2 jobs. It's just so hard to get to church on a Sunday. What do you say to those folks who question how much time it really takes to sit and listen to a sermon?
Well, I think there's 2 separate issues. There's church going, and there's living your life in faith. Church going is a habit, just like anything else. We fall out of the habit. We stop going for whatever reason, but your faith life is intact. What I get concerned about, or passionate about, I should say, is all of those folks that do not even realize what a faith life is and how it makes a difference to be in community with other people walking that journey. Faith life, and there's people today that have never been in a church. That's part of the reason we're going outside the church, because they're intimidated by the big red doors. It's people being people, whether you're inside the church or outside the church. So we're trying to go outside the church and say, we're people. We have failures, we have shortcomings, we have this. But what grounds us, what gets us through the day, is our faith in God. We worship a God that came to live among us, that walked this earth, that proclaimed the message that God loves us. How many people want desperately to know that they are loved by anybody?
Do you think for some it's just a matter of never being asked to attend a church?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the other part of, I was just at a conference where they said only 2% of churchgoers ever ask anybody in their lifetime to come to church.
Wow.
And
2%.
the average person that does asks once every 38 years. It's ridiculous.
Wow. And that's just asking Barb to come every week, right?
That's what, pardon me?
That's you asking Barb to come every week.
Yeah, right. No. Once they've been there, that yeah.
Right.
But really, it's an amazing thing.
Talk about our picnic on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 8:22 is our time. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. So there's an event coming up
Yes.
in the picnic.
We have the annual picnic. What we do is we do church. Instead of doing church in the church, we do it down at Drakewell Park. 10:30, everyone is welcome. And it's one of those places where if you haven't been for a while, come back. If you've never been, come see what it's about. We have the liturgy. We have liturgy, fancy word for the service. We have communion. We have preaching. We have fun. We have fellowship. That's what church is. That's what community is. Church is not the building. Church is the people in it.
And I know for some, that's 1 hour that an entire family is together doing something together.
Absolutely.
And not, playing video games or out. I mean, they're together.
Absolutely. And we've went through a lot of different iterations on helping the young people learn their faith. Sunday morning wasn't working, probably because it's the only morning that families have to sleep in. They can't get their kids up, especially the older kids. Sunday after church wasn't working because, as you were saying, there's so many activities going on. So that's why we're doing the Tuesday afternoon thing. It's at 3:30. The kids walk from school into the church, and we do our thing. But yeah, that's that 1 hour. It's 1 hour a week, but it requires some effort both ways. Effort on the part of the family, effort on the part of the church. Both parts being welcoming and inviting and willing to be vulnerable to one another, willing to be able to say, this isn't working.
And it seems like this new approach is working. I mean, you drive past on a Sunday morning and there's cars lined up everywhere outside the church. I mean, that has to be a fantastic feeling. And I'm sure you guys are greeting people maybe you haven't seen in a few years, yes. Maybe you've never seen. I mean, that has to be fantastic for you guys. That
happens. It happens on a regular basis now. Not as fast as I would like, but it's a great place to be.
I like to think it's the choir. Just putting a plug in for the choir.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. Because I think what you find is somebody will sit there and attend. Maybe it's their first time, so they'll sit in a pew and listen. They'll see folks engaged and interacting, or they have roles they have to do every Sunday, and they sit there and they think, oh, I could do that. That'd be fun.
That happened.
I could sing.
That actually happened to me because when the kids were little, and of course they're not little now, I was sitting in the pews and I would sing the hymns, and finally one of the choir members came down and said, when are you coming up there, Barb? And I started singing. So I've been doing that a long time. I sang in the junior choir, 100 years ago, I believe it was. But then I started singing again. I've been singing that choir, I can't even tell you how long. But our choir has grown, which is really something, because a lot of churches have completely lost their choirs. And ours actually is growing. And sometimes we actually have more men than women, which is unheard of. So wow. We're very pleased, but we welcome anybody that would like to sing. You don't have to read music. You don't have to know anything. If you just like to sing, we don't care. Come on. We have a good time, and we do have a good time.
So, go ahead.
Here's what I'd like to say about our service. It fills a different role. We're not in competition with other churches. I want people to go to church, period, wherever it is that they go. Our church has a specific liturgy based on communion. It It has some contemporary hymns. It has some traditional hymns. It has Taizé, which is a meditative type of hymn. But as a rule, our service is way more meditative, quiet, a chance to go into yourself, define God, not necessarily outward. We do that during the week. I just wanted to point that out because our liturgy is very different than some.
So then when somebody's sitting there and maybe they're having those thoughts, but they don't know what to do with those thoughts, is that the time then after the service where they could come up and say, boy, I'd like to sit down with you, or I'd like to get involved somehow to figure out what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling? I
would love it. You can stop me anytime to ask me those kinds of questions. I'm in the office. I work half-time for the diocese up in Erie, but I'm in the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And again, I'm trying to get myself an office away from the office, if you will. So if you see me anywhere, sure, stop, ask, and we'll have a conversation.
And we have a fantastic coffee hour usually after every Sunday, and that's a good chance to ask your questions and meet the people of the church.
Yeah.
And there's so many great people there that would be more than happy to sit and listen. Isn't that part of some of the struggles today, where maybe somebody's saying, boy, nobody's listening to me. Mm-hmm. Nobody's listening to me. But they don't necessarily think, oh, I should go to church for whatever reason, but that would be the place to go for somebody to listen to.
Mm-hmm. That's right. But it works two ways. For people, even for people that have been going there for years and years and years, they go there on a Sunday, they're not feeling up to par, they're not sure what's happening next, and it's important for them to see this other person in their familiar pew. Okay, they're there, all is right with my world. So it's a giving and a receiving. It goes both ways.
All right, we're down to the last minute or so I'll give each of you just a little bit of time to say whatever you'd like. You can promote something, encourage people to come. Barb, we'll start with you.
St. James is truly a family, and if someone's not there on a Sunday, they are missed. We want to know where they are. Are they sick? Did something happen? We're growing, but we're still small enough that we notice. And also, our service every week is done in a bulletin, so you don't have to be flipping books all over the place. It's right there in front of you, very easy to follow. We found that out a few years ago, and it's made a big difference.
I like grabbing the books once in a while, though.
Well, you get the hymnal.
Yes, that's right. How about you, Martha? What would you like to say?
My thing is God. My thing is a relationship with Jesus Christ. And even though people say they can have a relationship with God, a relationship with Jesus by themselves, doing it in community goes far beyond what we would expect. That's my thing. Proclaiming the word.
My message would be our doors are always open to anyone. Everyone is welcome at St. James. Our service is at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. You can come dressed casually. You can dress up if you want. We are not judgmental. You just come, you enjoy the service, enjoy the surroundings, the people, the traditions we offer at St. James. Now this Sunday we will be, like we said, at Drakewell Park. But after this Sunday, the doors at St. James, and we are expecting new doors to arrive soon at St. James.
Ooh.
Yes.
It will be a very welcoming, wonderful experience for all those who can attend.
Ladies, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, final look at news coming up next.